I'm Ashton Addison from the Crypto Coin Show, and today on Blockchain Interviews we have Vince Hoffman, Head of Ambassador Relations at Lingo. Vince, welcome to the show, and it is great to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me, Ashton. It's quite funny to be here because I remember actually seeing you very early on in my crypto career. You're obviously a lot younger, a lot more fresh-faced. I think that was in 2018, early 2018. I remember you used to watch your shows and watch your interviews. You used to wear a suit as well, and no
Amazing.
facial hair.
Yeah, it's been going full circle now, having you on the show. I appreciate you watching. Yeah, that's been multiple crypto cycles ago, and we're still going with a much larger audience, and yes, older with more facial hair as I continue to grow, and also crypto continues to mature. So I'm super excited to have you guys on, and I'm just as excited about crypto in general as I was in 2018, even though that was a down year, so to say. I feel like we're actually gearing up for a big up year. This year's already been up, although we're taking a small break, which I feel like is necessary. I feel like the end of this year and next year could be even more up. And it's a good time to have a platform like Lingo coming in, which also helps serve people that aren't as familiar with crypto, or can also introduce crypto and a new kind of reward system that utilizes blockchain to people that have no idea what crypto are. It can actually help fuel the blockchain run into more of the mainstream of the 98% of people still not involved. So I would love to start off our conversation by just sort of a high level from you, Vince, on what you and your team have built at Lingo so far, and what the vision is, and then we can dive into all the details.
Cool. So, as it shows here, I'm the head of ambassador relations, and I've been with Lingo now for 1 year and about 8 months. It's been quite a journey to see everything evolve and develop. It's been a big learning curve, very exciting. What would you like to know exactly? Where we are right now?
Well, let's just start with a sort of a high-level overview for those who haven't seen Lingo. Maybe they're not
Okay.
in Twitter. I know I've seen it a lot on Twitter, but let's just say, what is Lingo working on right now?
Okay. So right now, I mean, for the last 6 months, a big thing we've been focusing on is our SocialFi, which has actually, it's technically launched. We launched it with our community and a few alpha groups. Tomorrow is the big push. And essentially, our SocialFi will be a tool to expedite our organic community growth. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the reason why we are all here, and one of the main reasons why crypto has that exponential potential is because of community. And I mean, if we look at crypto projects over the last so many years, I mean, you would notice that a lot of crypto projects are always dependent on that constant influx of new users and new money to keep the project alive, which we call as Ponzinomics. They need that new money to pay off old money. Um, and it's really at the end of the day, it's how you reward your community. Some projects had the best intentions to give transaction fees back to their community, but at the end of the day, that's not really creating any more utility. It's really just trying to capitalize on hype and speculation, and it's really just more sell pressure. So what we do is we take transaction fees and invest it into real estate, real world assets, specifically yield generating assets. And what we do is we don't tokenize or fractionalize the real estate itself. We tokenize the profit. So every month we will take 100% of the profit from our real estate to buy back our own tokens from the open market. Those are the tokens we distribute to our community, who can then use those tokens to redeem for real life rewards. Or they can unlock it at any time and sell it back for Bitcoin or whatever. But the point is, year on year, just from trading volumes and transaction fees, we can accumulate more and more real estate, each of which is buying back from the market. So, the more real estate we have means the more rewards we can distribute, which means the more our community can grow, which means more transaction fees, which means more real estate, so on and so forth. So while we haven't launched yet, I mean, we don't know for certain, nothing's guaranteed in life. We don't know that this is going to work, but from everything that we have done, everything that we have seen, we're very confident in our business model, our economic model, and how it incorporates real world assets, how it accumulates those, and how it really fuels the reward mechanism with which we want to grow our community.
Wow, very cool, Vince. And on the real world asset side, do you think now is the industry is ready for people that are in real estate? I feel like they're eager to have some kind of real world asset play or tokenization. Although you said you're not actually tokenizing the real estate itself, there's been a lot of news recently on BlackRock creating a tokenization fund with real world assets. There's the market capitalization of real world assets is trillions and trillions. I feel like something needs to bite where there's going to be a trickle effect that needs to happen where something that is easy to tokenize, all of a sudden people that clicks in their head that, hey, this actually brings a lot of value to the real world, being able to tokenize part of this. And in that case, you're saying it's actually the profits that you're tokenizing? Is that right?
That's 100% correct. So obviously every real estate asset, there are maintenance fees, there are fees to pay for the property itself, managing the property, but we take 100% of the profits and we tokenize that.
And how, when you say you distribute the profits to the community, how do you determine who are the most active community members, or is it, everybody gets one piece, one person? How exactly does that work in helping grow the community?
So when I talk to people about Lingo, there's really sort of two target audiences. You got your non-crypto native people, the Web2 audience, and you got your Web3 degens like us. When I speak to the non-crypto people, it's really, when I speak to non-crypto people about Lingo, it's really about loyalty rewards on steroids. Because how it works from a user perspective, they are to buy our tokens once, lock it, and every month they get rewarded. So it works a lot like staking. The more you have, the more you get rewarded. And it's on a pro rata basis. We'll tokenize the profits of our real estate by buying back our own tokens off the open market. We buy Lingo tokens and we distribute those pro rata to those who have locked their tokens in the vault.
Okay, no, that's great to know. And with the rewards, is it similar to what people have seen with loyalty platforms where you use these rewards to go shopping or other sort of real world purchases?
Yeah, so, there's a few things here. Because we have the mechanism to sell the tokens back into fiat to produce those tangible rewards, we can technically supply just about any tangible rewards, whether it's from vacations, tickets, coffee, shoes, etc. For example, one of our strategic partners is the Phison app, and they are connected with a lot of big brands, and they're integrating Lingo into their platform. So Lingo will be redeemable at all the brands connected to Phison app, which includes Spotify, Netflix, Nike shoes. So we are establishing various partners where our token will be able to be traded in for these real life rewards. Because at the end of the day, the non-crypto people, there are three main things that stop them from coming into the space. One, that crypto is too complicated and hard to understand, lack of tangible value, and so too complicated, too risky, and a lack of value. And well, we tackle that with a use case that's easy to understand because our token rewards with real life, tangible experiences and tangible products. It's less risky because our economic model is fueled by real estate, and it's essentially loyalty rewards on steroids. And just to touch on one little point that you mentioned earlier, one of the things that are, in a sense, missing from the crypto space, over the journey of the crypto industry, a lot of projects have been trying to make that connection between reality and the digital world. And obviously there's an almost unlimited amount of ways that these things can be done, but there's always a few little things that are missing from the picture to get it really, really right. And that's where we are really confident with our economic model because it's all about rewarding your stakeholders. I could ramble on about stakeholder-centric strategies and methodologies, but the point is, if you're rewarding your community to the maximum of your ability in a sustainable way, you're going to drive the volume, you're going to collect the people. And it's all about making sure that you've got your community at heart. And that's the sort of the point of how we've geared the economic model and the rewards ecosystem. So it really connects to the real world, not just in terms of our economic model and the real estate that's fueling it, but the rewards as well. Yeah.
Very well said, Vince. And I will ask one thing about the mechanism or the economy of it. Most travel rewards platforms that I can think of that I've been using, eventually the points are worth the same, or they make it worth less somehow. All of a sudden points are half of what they used to be, especially for people that were accumulating for years. And then, they were like, I'm going to save it up for one day, and then they end up being worth less. Is there a way that Lingo's mechanism is able to keep that sustained value, or even better, make it worth more as time goes on?
So look, there's a few things to tackle here. Before I get to that, it's worth mentioning that one of our co-founders is David Amsalam, and he's the founder of John Paul, which grew to be the biggest concierge company in premium loyalty rewards, and he exited for 150 million in 2016. And when you look at traditional loyalty rewards programs, people are expected to spend thousands of dollars over months, sometimes years, just to get a little bit of value in the form of a free flight or night in a hotel. And that's if your points don't expire, which they very often do. So with Lingo, while we can't, guarantee that the price is going to be at any specific level, when you consider that you purchase once, you get rewarded every month for life. As we move forward in time, there's more and more real estate coming into the picture, which means more buyer pressure, which means more rewards distributed. So even when we get to the bear market and the general sentiment of stakeholders is to sell their tokens, the real estate that we have accumulated is not going to care about market sentiments. They still have to buy back every single month with 100% of the profit. So as we move forward in time, there should be a general uptrend, because we're not relying on new users. I mean, we are very big on marketing and hype. I think it's a very, very important thing to sort of get that initial grasp of the community. But at the end of the day, you do need something that's beyond hype and speculation, moving into the future. And that's where our real estate sort of gives us that nice cushion and buyer pressure.
Definitely. And on bringing in more community and the marketing side, I'm guessing you have to make a lot of different partnerships. I'd love to talk about the Web 2 side and the Web 3 side. On the crypto side, I've seen a lot of KOLs, a huge group of investors on your website. It's like billions of dollars under management. Maybe you can just touch on that and who is currently involved.
Ooh, that's a question. It's a little bit out of my purview. I remember some of the names. I know we've got, I know there's quite a few big names. We've had a lot of momentum in the last few weeks and months. I know that we've raised in excess of $9 million in $9 or $10 million in private investments. A lot of those have actually been Web 2 business people who are interested in Web 3. And then there's a lot of Web 3 degens. But here in Mauritius, where I live, I know that we've got quite a few wealthy people, well-known people around the island that have invested, and also a lot of notable people around the world. We've got this Kenny of the Manta Network, I think Ben of LimeWire. There's quite a long list of investors. I wouldn't be able to name them. Our CCO would be much better at that one. Yeah.
No problem. That's great to hear, though. And on the Web 2 side, you have to be able to spend the points. You have to probably make some kind of partnerships with, the airline, so to say, or the shopping center. How does that work in making sure that the points and the reward points actually can be spent on what people want to use them for?
So look here. So as for a user, that's they got their Lingo application, they've locked their tokens. Every month they get their rewards. Let's say I want to use they want to use their rewards to book a hotel in Spain. Because our application has the mechanism to sell the tokens back into fiat to pay the hotel, they don't need to. We don't need the hotels are. They don't need to worry about accepting a speculative crypto asset. That's the point I wanted to make. Because we have that mechanism, we can include just about any tangible reward.
Oh, that's a great point. So you can really just sell it back, have cash, and then buy whatever you want.
Yeah, we are actually locking down quite a few big partnerships, some of which I can't talk about. But in terms of how we deliver on the value proposition at the hotels and products, because they are being paid in fiat, we don't necessarily need a partnership with them to lock that down.
Very cool. And when you're looking to start gaining rewards, from what I understand, you have to get some Lingo coins and stake them. Is there any restrictions on, somebody wants to get started, but they only have a few dollars? Or if you stake the most, you can get higher percentages. Is that worked out yet?
Well, look, the token's not live yet. We've just launched our SocialFi. That will run for about 3 weeks, leading into our community pre-sale. And then the token generation event and listings should happen some weeks after that. What I wanted to tell you, the more you buy and stake, the more you will get rewarded. Also worth noting, while people will be able to purchase the token on exchanges where we are listed, we also are to have the option on our website, on our application, for the Web2 people who don't know how to use exchanges to use their credit card and buy it directly. Because, a lot of attention and focus has been put on making the application easy to understand, easy to use, and sort of making things as frictionless and as streamlined as possible. And one last thing, which was quite interesting. I thought that was it, right? You focus on making it easy to understand, easy to use for Web2 people, and that we sort of got that locked down quite nicely. And then there was a bit of a flip. And I was like, guys, we need to make this product sticky. People need to pick it up, they need to have fun, and they must not want to put it down. So that's actually been quite a new, interesting thing that's being focused on with regards to our products.
Very interesting. And I could see, say you stake some coins and then you're done. You just wait for the rewards. So you have something up the team's sleeve where there's a lot more interaction or gamification to keep you coming back every day or every week.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to it. And so as this SocialFi part has launched, where can people learn more and get involved with this and follow along for the updates of the timeline for the pre-sale and the launch of the rewards platform to get involved on day one?
Well, look, the best thing people can do is follow us on Twitter, join us on Discord. As I mentioned, SocialFi has launched. The big push is about to start with that. There's no money that's needed. It's just about logging in with your X account, Discord, doing a few simple tasks. With social media, you can earn all sorts of points, and there's games and tokens. And if people are interested in taking part in the community pre-sale, the SocialFi is going to be very important for them, because through the SocialFi, you can actually lock down a whitelisting spot. Because I don't suspect the community pre-sale is going to last very long. I think it's going to sell out quite quickly. So the SocialFi will be very good for people to get that whitelisting spot so they can actually get a bag before it's listed.
Very cool. Looking forward to it. And when the SocialFi part launches, I can leave a link to that in the show notes below. I'll also leave the X and the Discord, as you mentioned, and the website so people can check out, learn more about it, follow along for the launch. I'm personally excited to see the next stages of growth. There's been a lot of hype around it, and I'd love to get some rewards so I could do some traveling as well, maybe to the next crypto conference, or maybe just on vacation, if crypto people can ever take vacation, because the market never sleeps. So thank you so much, Vince, for the information, concise and different, because we need a rewards platform that's going to be sustainable and better, and hopefully Web3 can do it here, and real world assets can make a big play in this, because I feel like we're so early on in that part of crypto as well, that eventually the whole world will be tokenized, and this could play a big part in it. So appreciate your time today.
100%. One last thing I wanted to quickly touch on, which you kind of mentioned earlier and I forgot to touch on. One of our unfair advantages, which is how we are reaching that mainstream audience and sort of grabbing people, is primarily through our ambassadors. And we've got two different kinds. We've got our celebrities and our mainstream influencers, comprised of sports stars, Netflix actresses, musicians, models, you name it. And these guys are brilliant at what they do in sports and in the arts, but they are not an authority to speak about blockchain or crypto. Therefore, none of them are actually creating content for us. They will be sharing content every single week across platforms for 2 years. And they have about 300 to 350 million followers themselves, predominantly non-crypto people. And then on the other side, we've got our crypto blockchain KOLs, and we've got hundreds. It's around 400 at the moment. We've got different we've got our in-house KOLs, invested KOLs, and some paid promos. But at the end of the day, what we want to do for Web3, we want to do for Web3 what Nike did for shoes or what Red Bull did for energy drinks. And our ambassadors are our the main way that we are going to get our message out to the audience and build that brand equity and get that message out there. Yeah.
Wow. Huge audience, and let's make an impact with it. Thank you so much, Vince.
100%. Thank you for your time, Ashton.